Hello, Mr. Simons here. In this lesson, we're determining the first derivative via means of squaring a binomial. Very important process that you need to come understand. So first, squaring a binomial is when we give you a binomial, two terms in a bracket. There's a square sign outside. Catch you out with this, and majority of the time, learners that forget the middle term lose 12 marks in total. So first, step 1, we multiply the first term by itself, so 3x squared, same as saying 3 times 3 and x times x, which gives me 9x squared. To find the middle term, we say 3x times negative 4y times 2. So you see 3x times negative 4 times 2. So 3 times negative 4 times 2 gives me negative 24. X times y gives me my middle term. For the end term, negative 4y times negative 4y. There also, learners forget it's negative times negative. So it becomes positive 16, and y times y becomes y squared. So whenever we square binomial, 3x times 3x gives me 9x squared. 3x times negative 4y gives me negative 12y. Times 2 gives me negative 24xy. Negative times negative, positive 16y squared. So this is what we're going to be looking at, finding the first derivative. So determine the derivative of y with respect to x if y equal x minus 1 squared. So first we have to multiply out and find the product. So that would be x times x gives me x squared. X times minus 1, which gives me minus x, times 2 becomes minus 2x. And negative times negative become positive. 1 times 1 becomes 1. Right? Then, because now equation is in standard form, I can find the derivative. So I differentiate y with respect to x. 2 times 1 gives me 2. 2 minus 1. 1 times 2, or negative 2, stays negative 2. 1 minus 1. And the derivative of a constant always becomes 0. So that simplifies to 2x to the power 1. 1 mark for that. 2x1 minus 1 is to power 0. Anything to the power 0, 1. So 1 times negative 2 simply stays negative 2. And there I get my second mark. Alright, let's look at the next problem. So here they say evaluate dx given square root of x over 3 plus 3 over square root x all squared. So for the first term, square root x over 3 times square root x over 3. For the middle term, square root x over 3 times 3 over square root x times 2. For last term, 3 over square root x times 3 over square root x. Square root x times square root x, the square root simply cancel and I'm left with x. 3 times 3 would give me 9. Square root x and square root x cancel. 3 and 3 cancels. So that becomes 1 times 2, which stays 2. 3 times 3 gives me 9. Square root x times square root x become x. Right, I can't differentiate while I have x as a denominator. So I'm going to simplify this further. So invisible value in front of x is 1. So I can write that 1 over 9 and place x on the side. Plus 2, and if I take x to the top, it's positive at the bottom, it must become negative on top. Become x negative 1. Now, because I'm differentiating, I'm dropping the dx. See, that must stay till I differentiate. So this becomes 1 times 1 over 9, which stays 1 over 9, 1 minus 1. Derivative of a constant will always be 0. There, minus 1 times 9, minus 1 minus 1. So there 1 minus 1 becomes x to the power 0, so that falls away and I'm left with 1 over 9. 0 I don't need to write again. Negative 1 times 9 gives me negative 9. Negative 1 gives me negative 2. So my answer, 1 mark for 1 over 9 and 1 mark for 9x to the negative 2. Can write it as a positive, but it's not necessary. So I hope you follow and understand. That's much just squaring a binomial. Please like, share, and subscribe.